The air conditioner hums softly, a steady backdrop to my routine. My fingers glide over the keyboard, precise, practiced. The numbers shift on the screen. Another transfer, another quiet step toward freedom. I barely blink as I move the money, a fraction at a time, untraceable. In the silence of our pristine, perfectly curated home, I exhale slowly. Outside, the world sees the devoted wife, the picture of patience and trust. Inside, I am a woman who knows everything. I hear his footsteps in the hallway, the familiar click of polished shoes against hardwood. The faint scent of his cologne lingers, a fragrance I once loved but now recognize as the stench of deceit. He leans in, presses a perfunctory kiss against my temple. "Late meeting tonight," he murmurs, avoiding my eyes. I smile, soft and understanding, like I always do. "Of course," I say, voice smooth, easy. He thinks I believe him. He thinks I don't see the way his grip tightens around his phone. I've known for months. The secret account, the unexplained withdrawals, the hushed phone calls when he thinks I'm asleep. I see the patterns he assumes I'm too naive to notice. But I don't confront him, don't demand answers. Confrontation would be messy, emotional, unpredictable. No, I play my role, let him dig his own grave while I build my escape. The more he believes in my ignorance, the easier this game becomes. Because that's what this is, a game. And while he sneaks off to his so-called business trips, thinking he's outmaneuvering me, I sit in the quiet of our home, moving his money piece by piece. He's funding my freedom, one careless lie at a time. At dinner, he talks about his day, spinning half-truths with effortless charm. He doesn't notice the way I watch him, how his voice drops just slightly when he mentions the long hours at the office, how he pauses before answering simple questions. I nod at the right moments, sip my wine, and let him think he's the master of deception. It's almost laughable. The irony is, he doesn't even know he's being studied. I wonder if she believes him. The other woman, the one who whispers on the other end of his late-night calls. I wonder if she smiles at his promises, if she clings to the illusion like I once did. Does she wait for him, longing for the day he'll finally leave? Does she think she's special? I almost pity her. Almost. Because the truth is, she's just another pawn in this game, just like he is. The clink of his fork against the plate snaps me back. He glances up, studying me for a fraction of a second, as if sensing something is off. But I meet his gaze with warmth, a practiced ease I've perfected over time. "You seem quiet tonight," he says, watching me. I tilt my head, feigning innocence. "Just tired," I reply, giving him nothing to grasp onto. He nods, satisfied, then checks his phone under the table, thinking I don't notice. Later, as he showers, longer than usual, I slip into his office. The room smells like leather and control. His desk is immaculate, just as he likes it. But his laptop? His laptop is a goldmine. I don't need to guess the password. I know him too well. And just like that, with a few keystrokes, I'm inside his world. His secret emails, his carefully hidden transactions, his second life, laid bare before me. I scroll through his emails, his bank statements, the carefully curated lies he thinks are airtight. He's predictable, almost insultingly so. Every deposit, every withdrawal, every whispered promise to her is right here in black and white. And yet, he sleeps soundly at night, convinced he is untouchable. I linger on a recent message. "Soon, baby. Just a little longer." I feel nothing. No anger, no betrayal. Those emotions burned out long ago, leaving only a cool, methodical detachment. I close the laptop, reset everything to its pristine state. He will never know I was here. He will never suspect how deep my knowledge runs. That is my greatest weapon, his unwavering belief that I am blind. The shower stops. I slip back into bed, molding myself into the familiar role. When he crawls under the covers, damp skin brushing against mine, I don't flinch. Instead, I shift closer, resting my head against his chest, hearing the steady rhythm of a heart that doesn't know it's already lost. He exhales, relaxed, oblivious. "I love you," he murmurs into my hair. I close my eyes and smile against his skin. "I know," I whisper back, but he doesn't hear the unspoken words that follow. And that's exactly why you'll never see it coming. Revenge isn't about rage. It's not about reckless emotional outbursts. It's about patience, precision, the slow, methodical dismantling of a life. And that's exactly what I give him. Every month, I take only what won't be missed. Small amounts, just enough to slip under his radar. A few hundred here, 1,000 there. Carefully timed, carefully spaced. He doesn't check his account often. He assumes no one else knows it exists. That arrogance is my greatest ally. He believes himself untouchable, a master of secrecy. And yet, with each quiet transfer, I loosen the ground beneath his feet. Meanwhile, I watch. I study his movements like a predator stalking its prey. The way his fingers twitch when his phone buzzes, the brief, guilty flicker in his eyes when I catch him coming home too late. He used to hide it better, back when he still respected me enough to pretend. But now he barely tries. The deception is so deeply woven into his routine that he assumes I'm too foolish to notice. I let him believe it. I cook his favorite meals, listen to his fabricated stories, laugh in all the right places. He kisses me goodbye each morning, leaving for work, and I kiss him back, knowing exactly where he's going. I wonder if she touches his face the way I do, if she whispers his name with the same practiced softness. I wonder if she's just as disposable as I once was. At night, I imagine his face when he finally realizes. The panic, the confusion, the way his world will crumble beneath him, piece by piece. That thought keeps me warm in the cold, empty space of our bed. He thinks he's winning. He thinks he's controlling the board. But the real power? It's been mine all along. I move through the days effortlessly, a ghost in my own home. I match his routine, his expectations, never giving him a reason to suspect. Every action is calculated, never too eager, never too distant. He believes he knows me, believes I could never be capable of something like this. But that's the beauty of underestimation, isn't it? It leaves men like him defenseless. I see it in his reflection as he dresses for work, buttoning his shirt, checking his phone, fixing his tie in the mirror. He barely looks at me anymore, as if I'm nothing but a fixture in his life. The woman he once adored has become background noise, a shadow in the periphery of his new world. And that suits me just fine. Shadows are quiet, shadows are patient, shadows wait for the perfect moment to strike. Downstairs, he grabs his keys, his wallet, his briefcase. He leans in, kissing my cheek with practiced ease. "Don't wait up," he says, his voice smooth, casual. I nod, obedient, like always. And then, as he walks out the door, I pick up my phone. Another transfer, another step closer to the end. He doesn't know that while he plays his game, I play mine better. He doesn't know that the emails I send to the lawyer are drafted in the quiet of our bedroom, his cologne still lingering in the air. He doesn't know that while he whispers sweet nothings into someone else's ear, I am securing my future. His future, however, is slipping through his fingers like sand. I wonder when he will start to feel it. The slow unraveling, the weight of something being off. Right now, he is still too confident, too convinced of his own brilliance. He doesn't yet realize the way the walls are closing in, how every careful withdrawal is another crack in his foundation. Soon the pressure will shift. Soon he will feel the ground beneath him begin to give way. At dinner, he is distracted, glancing at his phone between bites, texting beneath the table. He smirks at whatever she says, caught in the illusion that he is untouchable. I watch, amused, sipping my wine. "Long day?" I ask, my voice soft, full of practiced concern. He nods, running a hand through his hair. "Exhausting," he sighs. I reach across the table, placing my hand over his, watching how easily he lies. I want to tell him. I want to lean in and whisper, "I know everything." I want to see his face crumble, his carefully constructed world collapse in real time. But not yet. No, I am patient. I will wait for the perfect moment, because when the fall comes, I want him to feel it, truly feel it. And that moment is coming soon. It happens on an otherwise ordinary evening. He comes home late, his tie loosened, his face pale. There's a tension in the way he moves, in the way his eyes dart around the room, unfocused. I can hear it in his breathing, shallow, uneven. Something is wrong. Something is very, very wrong. I stay seated, pretending not to notice the way his hands shake as he sets his briefcase down. He swallows hard, struggling to compose himself. Finally he speaks, voice strained, forced into an illusion of control. "Something's wrong," he says, his fingers tightening around the back of the chair. "Money's been disappearing from my account." I blink, feigning confusion. "What do you mean?" My tone is light, curious, just a wife, concerned for her husband. I tilt my head slightly, watching him unravel. He runs a hand through his hair, pacing now. "I don't know," he mutters, more to himself than to me. "It doesn't make sense. It's just gone." He looks at me then, searching for reassurance, for an answer, for anything that will anchor him in this growing storm. And I give it to him. I offer a small frown, a slight crease of worry between my brows. "That's strange, honey," I say softly. "Should we call the bank?" The words land like a slap. He flinches, his mind racing. No, he can't call the bank. He can't report the theft, because that account was never supposed to exist. His face shifts, the panic settling in. He knows I can't help him. No one can. He grips the edge of the table, his knuckles white. "It's not just a mistake," he mutters, more to himself than to me. "This isn't normal. It's been happening for months. Thousands of dollars just gone." His voice is unraveling, cracking under the weight of realization. I keep my expression carefully neutral, letting him spiral. His mind must be racing now, calculating, grasping at any plausible explanation. A bank error? A hacker? No, that's too random. Someone who knows. Someone who's close. Someone who's been inside his world. The paranoia flickers in his eyes, and I wonder how long it will take for him to land on the right answer. He paces the room, his frustration building with every passing second. "I don't understand," he says, voice rising. "Who the hell would—" He stops mid-sentence, staring at me. The moment stretches, long and heavy. His breath catches. I see it then, the shift, the pieces clicking into place. His mind replaying all the moments I was too calm, too understanding, too unaffected. And then, like a bolt of lightning, the accusation spills from his lips. "It was you." His voice is hoarse, disbelieving. He shakes his head as if rejecting his own conclusion. No, you wouldn't. But we both know the truth now, don't we? The panic in his eyes isn't just fear. It's betrayal. He thought I was blind. He thought I was weak. He thought he was in control. I don't answer right away. I let the silence stretch, let him drown in his own disbelief. He's waiting for me to deny it, to laugh, to call him crazy. But I don't. Instead, I tilt my head, a small smile playing at the corner of my lips. And then, with quiet certainty, I say the words that shatter him. "Oh, I know," I murmur, my voice soft, almost soothing. I've been the one taking it. The color drains from his face. His mouth opens, but no words come out. He sways slightly as if the weight of my confession has physically struck him. "No," he whispers, shaking his head. "You're lying." But we both know I'm not. He sees it now. The months of patience, the quiet, calculated moves, the way I watched him without ever truly seeing him. His breath turns ragged, his hands clenched into fists. "How?" he chokes out, desperation creeping into his voice. "Why?" And that's the part that makes me laugh. A small, quiet laugh, but enough to make his eyes widen in something dangerously close to fear. Why? As if he doesn't already know. as if he hasn't spent the last year giving me every reason. I stand slowly, smoothing my hands over my dress. He flinches, as if I might lunge at him, as if I'm something unfamiliar, something dangerous. And maybe I am. You thought you were playing me, I say, meeting his gaze, unshaken. But I was always 10 steps ahead. I watch as the realization settles in, hollowing him out from the inside. He looks small now, stripped of the smug confidence he's carried for so long. It's almost pitiful. Almost. But pity is for those who deserve it. And this man, this liar, this cheat, this fool, deserves nothing. His mouth opens and closes, searching for words, for leverage, for a way to flip the script. But there is no script left to rewrite. He spent years weaving his web of deception, and I have spent months cutting him free, thread by thread, until there is nothing left for him to hold on to. Finally, he finds his voice, but it's weak, unsteady. You can't do this, he stammers, desperation clawing at his throat. You... He stops, shakes his head, fists curling at his sides. Where's the money? He demands, his voice rising, the illusion of control slipping further from his grasp. I exhale slowly, letting the moment stretch, letting him sit in the unbearable quiet of his own downfall. Then, with absolute certainty, I answer. It's mine now. 3 simple words, but they hit like a gunshot. He jerks forward, his hands twitching as if he wants to grab me, shake me, force the outcome to change. But he won't. He knows better. He knows I am untouchable now. His breath is ragged, his chest rising and falling too quickly. He's unraveling, coming apart at the seams, and there is nothing he can do to stop it. I see it in his eyes, the battle raging inside him. Anger, panic, disbelief. He wants to lash out, to make me the villain in his story. But the truth is suffocating, and he's drowning in it. He steps toward me, but I don't flinch. I don't step back. I just watch, unshaken, as he fights for something, anything, to hold on to. You can't just walk away, he spits, the last shred of control slipping from his grasp. You need me. It's almost laughable. Even now, even as his world collapses, he clings to the fantasy that I am dependent on him, that I need him. I shake my head slowly, letting my smile sharpen at the edges. No, I say, my voice calm, final. I never needed you, and now you have nothing. The words are a knife, cutting through whatever delusions he had left. He knows I mean it. He knows I am done playing the role he so carefully assigned me. His hands tremble as he grips the chair, his knuckles turning white. You won't get away with this, he hisses, his voice barely more than a breath. But we both know that's a lie. I already have. The lawyer is in place, the paperwork is done, the account is emptied. There is nothing left for him to threaten me with. No power left for him to wield. He is a king without a kingdom. I reach for my bag, sliding the strap over my shoulder with a slow, deliberate motion. He watches me like a man standing at the edge of a cliff, realizing too late that the ground beneath him has already crumbled. He opens his mouth, but this time, there are no words. What could he possibly say? Apologize? Beg? Swear he was going to change? None of it matters now. I walk past him, my heels clicking against the floor, each step measured. Final. He doesn't move to stop me. He knows better. Instead, he just stands there, breathing too hard, shaking with something between fury and disbelief. I pause at the door, my hand resting on the frame. For a moment, I consider turning back, offering some last parting words, something to haunt him. But no, he's not worth it. I step outside and the air is warm, thick with the scent of summer rain. The weight I've carried for so long lifts with each step toward my car. I open the door, sliding into the driver's seat, and as the engine purrs to life, I glance in the rearview mirror. The house looms behind me, but it already feels distant, like a place I used to know. I pull away, the road stretching open before me. The money is safe. The future is mine. I don't look back, not once, because the game is over, and I won. The sun spills golden light across the highway, stretching long shadows over the asphalt. The hum of the tires against the road is steady, rhythmic, a quiet pulse of freedom. I keep one hand on the wheel, the other resting lightly on my lap, fingers tracing the smooth leather of my bag, the one that holds everything I need: my documents, my plans, my future. The radio plays softly, a song I vaguely recognize from years ago. It's ironic, really. One of those love songs about second chances and fresh starts. I let out a quiet laugh, shaking my head. Maybe the universe has a sense of humor after all. A gas station sign flickers in the distance, and I signal to pull in. The pump clicks as I fill the tank, the scent of gasoline thick in the warm evening air. Inside, I grab a bottle of water and a pack of gum, exchanging a polite smile with the cashier. A normal interaction, in a normal place, on a normal day. For the first time in years, I feel like I belong to the world again, not just trapped in a carefully constructed lie. Back in the car, I check my phone. The email from my lawyer sits unopened in my inbox, but I already know what it says. Everything is finalized. The money is secure. The divorce will be swift. He will fight it, of course, scramble, rage, threaten, but it won't matter. His secret account is empty. His power is gone, and I am no longer a woman he can deceive. I take a deep breath, pressing the ignition. The engine rumbles to life, steady and sure, just like me. As I pull onto the road, I glance at the rearview mirror one last time. The past lingers there, a shadow on the horizon, but it's already fading. I don't need revenge. I don't need closure. I don't even need to know what happens to him next. I am free, and that is enough.